commissioned by Central Park Zoo. Well, I'm lying, Central Park. And today we got
Bareburger.
It was actually like snowing. We went hiking and it was snowing, so it was kind of a little bit weird. That hand sanitizer. Hold up, wait a minute. I washed my hands at home. But you know, precaution. Yeah. Precaution. Alright. We got Bareburger, guys. Woo! Bareburger fries. I don't know if they're good. They smell good. Are they good?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. So, we got El Matador burgers, but they're both very different. This one, which is Laura's, is on a collard green bun, which when she unwraps,
This fries are
she
not
will
bad.
show you. There's sauce, babe.
Okay, pero pa allá.
Okay.
And the fries over here.
Sauces will go right there. We got the honey sauce and some type of. Oh,
Okay.
here, allow me to feed you, my love.
What is this?
I think that's the spicy mayo.
Oh. They didn't give a lot. That's a little weird to me, but
I like it.
yeah, put it right here. Okay, so we have sauce here. Honey, this really is really you can eat your burger.
Well, first let's go through the experience of the
Okay.
sauces.
Honey. I don't think it's a fry thing, it's really a burger thing.
You think so?
It's spicy honey, right?
Yeah.
It has that kick of spice. Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Let's hope we don't dirty my car. But okay.
We'll try our best. So,
You wanna unwrap your burger?
yeah, I'm doing the unwrapping. It's like Christmas.
Sweet unwrapping. I love it. I have had a Bareburger before. It's near my job. And I've had the collard green wrap, and it's just, they wrap it that it's not soggy and it's not a mess. Have you guys ever had BurgerFi? Like, I love BurgerFi, and I love that they have wraps. Shake Shack also does wraps too. I really do love it. It's like a nice little cheat meal, but it's not having the bun. But like, their wrap, I love it.
I think you should take a bite and then show them the inside.
I will. Oh, fry down.
All right.
It's just so pleasantly wrapped.
Cheers.
Here.
But let's give this a try.
First we try, then we talk about what we're gonna talk about.
Oh yes, we have an interesting topic for you
Very
guys.
interesting topic. Let that mouth.
So you guys can see what we're looking at there. Hopefully you guys got a glance. It's good. It's really good. How's yours?
It's not bad.
Very juicy. I love it. Of course, if you guys don't know me, I love my burgers medium rare.
It wasn't like it. Oh, I did get well done.
Yeah.
And you offered me that. You asked me that. You bamboozled me.
Nope. I asked you, what temperature do you want your burger? Would you like it well done?
I didn't think about that.
Well,
Okay,
remember-
so today, oh, these look really juicy. We haven't even, I don't know, it's okay. We haven't even started the conversation. You're almost done.
Sorry, I love food. But, so guys, our conversation today is
revolving around, I mean, like, how do we, that's how I was asking, like, is it interracial dating? Like, you guys see us, oh, fuck. Trust me, I love this honey. You guys see us, right? And, like, by definition, we are interracial
No.
dating,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're interracial people. But like race-wise though, I'm Hispanic and Latino. So are you.
Yeah.
How are we really
Interracial.
dating? Like by look, by definition, by the book, yes.
Yeah. So I feel like it definitely, you know, it puts into question how certain cultures like to identify. And personally for me, I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican, and I come from a culture that has been, you know, heavily hit with colonization, different dictatorships,
Right.
and so that has caused my culture and the people in my culture to want to not identify closely with our darker counterparts, especially
Because there was someone who said, and I think you sent me a video, they were just like, you know, Dominicans come to here, but they don't know what the term black is.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, y'all do, because the way y'all be treating Haitians,
Right.
y'all do. But I understand where is, you know, like, yeah, like an Indian, for example, like in India, there is no such thing as minority. In China, there is no such thing as minority. They all look the same.
Yeah.
The concept of minority is definitely rampant here. And that's like when you come to America, that's where all the labels just start piling up.
Well, also not here, because I remember you've been to Europe. Well, we've both been to Europe, but you've also mentioned to me that it's definitely something that's also rampant in like European culture as well.
Yeah, no, of course. I feel like when I was in Italy, I definitely, although I loved my time, I loved my time there. I know, like when I was in Florence, and only in Florence, because when I went to Bologna is actually my favorite city in all of Italy. I love Bologna. Very diverse, awesome sandwiches. Bologna is actually my favorite city. Florence is cool. It's a touristy area. It's cool to visit. It was cool to live. But like really, really, if I was gonna move, it would be Bologna because of diversity. Like in Florence, I never saw a hair store. Like I had to buy my shampoo.
All right, so
I just, you know, it was very hard to find hair products out in Europe, which is obviously something I do want to talk about. But anyway, yeah, like minority, that whole rhythm started, you know, with the white people. Anyways, but we have been talking about like relationship struggles. Like what is it that you want to discuss?
So I think what we should discuss is talking about how
to deal with it in a couple.
Yeah, how couples deal with or not how couples, but just ourselves, how we've
been dealing with racism in our relationship.
Yeah. And so we've dealt with it in a couple ways.
Dealt with it?
Yeah, because I feel like we have experienced this in a few ways, where it's one being from within familial kind of outlets,
Right.
and others have been from outside overt racist moments. And
Can you guys see it snowing? In May.
and so basically I feel like what should be discussed is, you know, how to feel comfortable with one another through these types of trying times, where each other can have or feel the support that, you know, they deserve in a relationship.
Well, I feel like every time I tell you that we're dealing with somebody racist, like for example in Thailand, we were in Thailand and I dealt with racism quite often. But I would tell you, and you'd be like, nah.
Well, so for me, it was more so like.
Let me explain what the racism was.
Yeah.
The first one was like, we were on the beach on Penis Island. And it was the last part of our island tour. And I think this family, or like, sometimes when we have reactions, and you guys can tell in my videos, sometimes I'm quicker to react in another language instead of being like, oh damn, I was here the Spanish version or whatever. And I think we were online to eat food, and I was just reacting to him. I was saying something, and I just said a word. Let's just say I said hola, right? And so I tell him hola, right? We're assuming, but I forgot what the word actually is. And then there's this Spaniard lady, and she goes, hola, hola. And I'm like, literally, Josh is thinking that she's just joking around. And I'm like, this bitch is mocking me. And so I'm explaining to him, like, I'm literally being mocked because she's, like, impressed with, like, the newfound language. And he's just like, no, you're not. You taking it seriously. And I'm like, no, fuck, I'm not. And so then we go on another excursion. Where was this? This is where we were sitting down.
Yeah, at the restaurant.
But where was it? What excursion was it? It was
We only went to the, hot springs.
Okay. We went to the hot springs, another excursion at Krabi. And though it culminates, before we go to, Tiger Temple or after Tiger Temple, we
Went to eat.
We go to, it's a buffet, kind of, not really. Yeah, it's all you can eat, but they serve it to you.
Yeah.
But it is a kind of, there's a set. Anyway, there's food, whatever. There's another Spaniard family next to us. A mom, dad, and their kid. We go into this conversation together, and I'm talking in Spanish. And my friend is there with me as well. And she's the only one that does not speak Spanish, but she's used to it already. And I come into the conversation with him, and I slowly get phased out of the conversation, and it just becomes a Josh and them conversation, because they're assuming I don't know Spanish, even though I think I began the conversation. I forgot what it was, for what, but I definitely began the conversation. And it just slowly phased out, and he's just continuing. Doesn't realize that literally they basically disregarded his girlfriend and just phased me out of the conversation. And I tell Josh, I forgot what your reaction was.
So
But
I definitely know that my reaction was kind of a part of me just kind of didn't understand how it was oppressive.
Because you
And
associate yourself as a black person. I feel like your identity as well is in question.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I definitely wasn't thinking, they're not trying to communicate with you in any way or anything like that. I just thought, the conversation tracked that way. But again, that was definitely a one-tracked way of perceiving the situation. And so evidently at that point I was just no, they're not trying to do anything wrong or anything of that nature, and nor were they. I'm not saying that they were, but later on in the evening and throughout our ride there, we had a long discussion about what overt racism is. And the thing is that, and this is something that's very ingrained in my culture as well, which is, some things are done, and of course, like I said, it's not like these people were trying to do or trying to give off that impression. It's just some things are done, and even though it's not in the forefront of their mind, it's something that is oppressing another person. And so this is where you have to, once you learn about this, you have to continuously keep teaching yourself how to look out for these things. And so that's kind of where, you know, that situation was a bit different than most, for sure.
Than most.
Yeah, you know, but
Heard it.
I feel like what's important about a situation like that, or any situation that has to deal with racism, is that one, the person who's feeling oppressed, they need to be heard. They need to be understood, and most importantly, they need to know that you're there and understanding them, and that you're there for them. And most importantly, in them being heard, you have to really take in what exactly it was that they were feeling like they weren't being heard on, and how exactly that was the case, because you want to try and look out for these things in future experiences.
Right.
Because, you know, in our culture, we have here in America, you know, entertainment wise, social media wise, things like that, there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of material out there that isn't necessarily sensitive to the oppression of others. And me growing up very much surrounded by American culture and the the media of what is, you know, I grew up watching, you know, the all-white cast almost of Van Wilder, you know, where like the one minority dude was this Indian guy who's Cal Penn, the same dude from Harold and Kumar, where it's like, you know, we're talking about minorities and the stereotypical things that they go through or they have to deal with and things like that. And so growing up, you around these kinds of things, you become kind of like
desensitized.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, desensitized is
Does
definitely.
that make it okay?
No, it does not. It does not make it okay. It's something that you have to definitely, when realizing that somebody's affected by this,
right,
you have to really take it in and say, you know what, there has to be a change.
And it's like the Hispanic culture also has their own internalized self-hatred. Not the Hispanic culture, the Latino culture.
Mm-hmm.
Spain, I can't talk in regards about. However, Mexico down, I can definitely say, like, there's definitely, like, keep the raza clean,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And it's just, like, it's a constant battle, because it is normal for us as well to have these type of prejudices and... Is that how you say the word?
Prejudice, yeah.
And, it's just very common, and it's sad. So what should an interracial couple, what are some tips that you think?
Well, some tips that I think you should keep in mind is, first things first, watch how you express yourself. Make sure that whatever you say is not being biased, stereotypical, or even, you know, referring in any type of light towards somebody's skin tone. You want to make sure that you acknowledge people through their personalities, through their achievements. You want to make sure that you're acknowledging them through who they are and what they want to be addressed as. Anything else just is unacceptable and inappropriate. And that, I think that's key number one.
Key number 2 is communication.
Sorry.
Oh my god, this is soda?
I don't think so.
I thought it was water. You said water.
This is soda, yeah. This is clear. Now I see bubbles, but it's definitely very clear previously. It's good though. Let me try it.
Sprite.
Nah.
Lemon lime.
Yeah, it's a lemon lime soda, but it's not Sprite.
What type of... They gave you seltzer water and just zested the lime, bro.
Yeah, it tastes nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's refreshing. It's refreshing. But I was expecting Sprite, so the fact that it was actually not filled with high fructose
corn syrup. But yeah, communication definitely is key. You guys want to talk about it. Leaving something unaddressed even to the least between yourselves, talk about it, you know. Because leaving something unaddressed will have one partner feeling like they're unheard, feeling like you don't care for them. Yeah, and you don't want that. It's something that, you know, I don't know about you guys, but for us, this is a lifelong commitment, and I think that the last thing I would ever want is for her to resent me for anything, whether it's because of something like this or anything else. This is just something that, you know, it's something that we just don't need in our relationship.
And I feel like not only communications, right? Speak up, right? Because closed mouths don't get fed. However, also listening. And that's something you have to work on.
Yes.
Because again, like I told in the stories, like I pointed out to you. And it's like, what?
Yeah, listen. It's okay to not know something, and sometimes it's harder. It's easier said than done, but you gotta realize that your significant other isn't. You gotta realize that your significant other isn't just telling you because they want you to hear them speak. They're telling you because it's making them feel a certain way. Maybe the way they're articulating it at the moment might not be the greatest, but it's the feeling that they want you to truly understand. And if you can understand that and work from there, it's definitely a good pace.
Yeah, I think like it's just listening. I feel like the constant battle we have is like you understanding that there's another way. So I think like any couple, like especially interracial, like unfortunately, I don't know, like I grew up in a very multicultural background and with high achievers, and like do I associate, like I myself cannot fully identify as a black person. I myself cannot fully identify as a Hispanic Latina, even though like that's really the culture. But it's just like even the Hispanic Latinos, they be like questioning my own Latinidad, and it's like, am I Latin enough for them? Am I black enough for them? Like, I don't know. And also like when I say I'm Honduran, like I don't even be having the access they be having, and I don't be having the struggles they be having. So it's also
you got the jati.
Papa?
You got the jati.
What?
Nothing.
What is that?
Got that ass.
Anyway, so I feel like it becomes definitely an issue on that. I didn't know where the fuck I was going with that, but it's like more of like, you know, that racism, you're gonna deal with it. And I feel like I felt like I never would, or like I don't know. It just until I got with you, and I got with so much racism coming from other places, and it's like very disheartening.
Yeah. But what's most important is just make sure that that's good. Make sure that both of you understand that that you value each other, you value what each other feels and says, and doesn't matter where the racism is coming from, that it can be overcome, and that you can definitely persevere through it. It's something that, you know, you might go through or you might not, but if you do, just know that you need each other to be able to get past it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is.
It's tough because then you have to like figure out, like, is your man or the girl like into you for fetish reasons, or like are they really with you? Like, are they vocal about our fights? Or they're not? I guess like it's a good way. I guess a way to see like if they're really there for you is like, how's their voice when it comes, like, if you're gonna be a friend of ours, our fights is also yours.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, like what's their side and what's their, because if the ideology is not the same, that I wouldn't recommend you guys being together. see, like, you believe everyone is equal. Me, it's just impossible for that to happen here in America.
No, I just think everyone, you know, I think everyone should kind of be kind to one another.
Of course.
You know?
Of course, but it's our reality that we have now.
Definitely, you know, we have the...
Will we have it?
I
We've
hope
come
so.
so far, but, like, still.
You know, I've seen... as an educator, I've seen how New York City schools are. I've seen how diverse our communities are becoming.
But are we funded the same resources?
Oh no, there's a lot of oppression going on so many levels. But again, what's most important is that we're educating everybody. We're showing cultural relevancy and cultural, cultural relevant pedagogy.
So. You know, like, especially with this channel, is I always say, like, I try to tell you guys things that I wish somebody would tell me, or like I went through it so that you don't have to go through it, because it's like, yeah, there's a lot of information that I know I am privileged enough to know.
Yeah.
Like, when I had my first salary job, I had an aunt that I can call and, like, how do I even negotiate this? You was throwing out numbers and I told you to Google.
Yeah, it was
like salary, like, and I feel like, especially because we're New Yorkers, and if you guys refer back to my video of, like, tips, like, for your senior year of college and high school, it's different for us in New York, but we don't really have representation. Like, we just mostly have hourly workers, and so it's just like, really, like, can you sit here and ask yourself, like, do you have someone to talk to when it comes to salary? Like, do you know what your worth is? Like, do you know what a company can offer? Like, that first company that I was working at, which was electronics, consumer electronic manufacturing company, my aunt was like, ask for over 40, and I chickened out, and I was just like, I'm gonna ask for at least 38 grand to be an assistant. But I had no idea if I could. I had no idea, but, like, now it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you definitely need to know your worth. Currently I'm in a transitioning phase, trying to get into this salary position, and that's one thing that Laura hammered into me during this phase, is that you need to know your worth. You're not trying to go back to an hourly job. You want to make sure that you're looking for things that you want, that you're speaking this into existence. And so, cool thing is that I did find something. I found something that is not usual for someone with my level of I would say kind of educational experience. But I would like to just say that if I can do it, you can do it too. It's one of these things where you need to know your worth, and that also means your identity. That means that you need to know who you are and what you feel like your value is. That's a huge thing.
So, yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of disproportionate information. Like, you have to, it's like, education's not important, but, like,
that burger was good. That burger was not disproportionate in any way, shape, or form.
I, like, barely tasted the guac. Towards the end, I did.
Yeah, and I felt like they could have used more. I agree.
I saw your guac. You didn't taste it?
I did, but it wasn't like.
It was okay.
I felt like my burger was more juicy than guacy.
Oh, okay. No era gran cosa. Like, it was just like, whatever. Bareburger, I like it, but it's very overpriced.
Oh yeah,
but definitely. It's like, the quality though, like I said, is good though.
Oh yeah, for real. So shout out to Bareburger. Thank y'all for helping us with this video.
Okay, I guess we're ending it.
Oh no, I just just giving y'all giving them a shout out.
But like yeah, just like yeah, if you're into interracial relationship, just understand that you're going to be brought aware of how disproportionate things are in the Western world or in Europe or wherever you are.
Yeah, I agree. You just gotta be mindful, be aware, and be more conscientious and conscious about the things you do, say, or express.
And just be an open, or have an open communication between each other. Like, also just like speak your mind, but also like listen. But not like, I'm sorry, I'm just letting that bus pass. But just like, not listen to respond, but just like listen. Because you do that too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You like to rebuttal, and it's like, I didn't ask that though.
I'm sorry. But I do like to rebuttal.
But why?
Exchanging ideas is always a fun thing for me.
That is not an exchange of ideas. Is it? I don't know. It's just like more of like understand instead of defend.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it, because we're done with our food.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that notification button.
Isn't it down here? Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow him on Instagram. And we shall see you next month, because we're doing this monthly and it's really fun. So, yeah.
Kissies. Goodbye.